But Janice is hilarious. In real life, that laugh that she does wouldn't even be annoying. It would be fucking hilarious. You'd always want to be around Janice. Janice is actually madly in love with Chandler. And he's just got commitment issues and can't deal with it. But then I think there are actually episodes where it turns out that Janice cheats on Chandler or she lies to him. I can't remember. Maybe she's not the best person. But every time she's on the screen, I'm just like, yes, it's Janice. And then when Chandler got married to Monica and it was like a sure thing forever, I was like, oh, fuck, there's going to be no more Janice. Maybe I wouldn't like Janice that much in real life, I don't know. But she's my favourite in the show. It's a shame she wasn't in it more. And then there's that guy in the coffee shop, Gunther. Imagine being Gunther. Imagine being the guy that plays Gunther. And that's what you're known for. I've never seen him in another film or in another show or anything. Maybe he's been in films and stuff and I just don't recognise him. But he always has that bleached hair for the show, like in every fucking season. Imagine being Gunther. Imagine you've always been the guy that works in a coffee shop, but only in the show. Like, would it be just as shit as working in an actual coffee shop? Just acting like you're working in a coffee shop for like a decade. And just being the guy that fancy. And he's just, yeah, once again, he just loves Rachel. Like, he's another one that doesn't realise she's a cunt. Like, Ross is totally, like, constantly getting his life ruined by Rachel, but at least he got to fuck her a bunch of times. Whereas Gunther is just living this miserable existence and he's never got anywhere near Rachel. His existence is just the most pathetic thing ever. And if I had to guess, I would have said that guy was gay, but apparently he's madly in love with Rachel. I don't get it. And then there was that whole bit, there was like a whole phase in Friends where Joey is in love with Rachel, which apparently a lot of fans didn't like, but I actually found that really interesting. I liked that, because I always thought it was a given that Joey was going to end up with Phoebe, especially when Monica and Chandler got together, and then it's always Ross and Rachel. Obviously it's going to be Joey and Phoebe. But then suddenly Joey's in love with Rachel, which is annoying because it's just another person that's in love with Rachel, but it was an interesting twist, I thought. And then Phoebe got with this Mike, or whatever his name is, played by Paul Rudd, but I'm so sick of Paul Rudd. I'm so sick of him just being the exact same dude in every film. And yeah, he has been funny. He has made me laugh a lot of times, but this whole thing where he's meant to be like this heartthrob, like people think he's really good looking. Like even now when he's older, they're like, he just doesn't age. He's just as good looking as he was when he was young. What? Was he good looking when he was younger? I didn't realise. I thought he looked like a little weasel. I have to say though, one of my favourite episodes of Friends is the one where Ross has to spend the evening with Mike, Paul Rudd. Phoebe and Rachel go out on a girls' night out, and Ross and Mike try and have like a boys' night in, and it's a total like disaster. They just don't hang good. Oh, I think it was awesome. It was well played. But anyway, my point is, you watch Friends and you just think, oh yeah, Ross is the gimpy annoying one. Rachel's supposed to be cool. Everyone's supposed to love Joey, and Chandler's really funny, and whatever. And I'm like, in real life, you wouldn't feel that way about those characters. In real life, Joey wouldn't really be someone you could get that close to. You would never, ever, ever want to be anywhere near someone like Rachel. You would hate her, and if you don't, then there's something wrong with you. Phoebe is likeable in a lot of ways as a person in real life, if she was actually like that. But she's fucking weird. Like, whenever she talks about her past, it's always like, yeah, I used to be homeless, and I used to be a hooker, and then I was this, and it's like, I think I killed someone once. She's always saying something weird like that. And you wouldn't know whether to take it seriously or not. Monica is annoying as fuck. Both Monica and Rachel would probably get away with a lot of their shit in real life because they're good looking. Ross is actually the most interesting and probably the best candidate to be a real friend in real life. But the real point I'm trying to make here is actually that the characters in Friends should have ditched Rachel at some point, it doesn't actually make any sense that they're keeping her around. Like, the only anchor she has is Ross's obsession with her and Monica's loyalty because they're old friends, but Rachel has never been a good friend to her, so she shouldn't have that loyalty. And Ross should have been talked out of bothering with Rachel by the others. They all should hate her. And the other point I'm trying to make is Phoebe shouldn't be in the group either. She doesn't like anyone. Watch carefully. If you've seen every episode of Friends before, even just by accident, watch again. And just watch Phoebe. And you will notice what I've noticed. You will notice that she actually doesn't like any of the characters, except for Chandler on occasions. Sometimes she seems to have some sort of kindred spirit thing with Chandler. But even her character seems to think that she gets on with Joey, but it always proves that they don't. Like that time when they get in the car and they're meant to have an awesome road trip and he keeps falling asleep. He's a shit friend to her and she gets pissed off with it. Phoebe doesn't like any of them. Yet she sticks around and there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's weird. Phoebe basically acts like she's in prison with all of these people. Imagine if she got put into prison and she's stuck with these other 5 people and she's just got to learn how to get along with them and has to pretend she doesn't hate them. But she's not stuck with them at all. She can leave whenever she wants. Why doesn't she? Do you remember when they tried to make a spin-off show about Joey? After Friends finished, they tried to make a show about Joey. Boring. That's why it didn't work. It wouldn't have worked with any of them. Except for Phoebe. If they made a spin-off show about Ross, that would have been boring. If they made a spin-off show about Rachel, it would have been horrendous. If they made a spin-off show about Chandler and Monica run off into the sunset, it's like, who cares? They should have done a spin-off show about Phoebe. Because when she's in the show Friends, whenever she tells stories about her life outside of Friends, it always sounds crazy as fuck. When she talks about her past, she talks about anything. Not even just her past. It's not like she has this crazy past, but then she found these friends and she settled down and stopped being weird. Sometimes in Friends, she'll talk about things she's doing outside of the camera, like off-screen. It sounds crazy. She's got an identical twin sister that does porn or something. What was it? Ursula? She's the most interesting one by miles when it comes to making a spin-off show about a singular character. And she's actually in a film called Romy and someone's school reunion. What is it? Romy and Michelle. I watched it. She should have been in loads of films. She should have been a Hollywood actress. Why did the other 2 go off and do stuff? Apparently in real life, I know that Rachel is the big fucking narcissistic cunthead in the show, but apparently in real life it's actually Monica that's actually like that. Courtney Cox. Apparently she believes that she should be this big star. And she was just doing the show as some sort of like stepping stone to go on to bigger things. And she has been in films, but everyone saw Rachel as the potential star because she's beautiful and got this sort of young look about her even when she's getting older. But I always thought Monica, in the early stages, in the early seasons, I thought Monica was the best looking. But then around sort of season 5, basically after she gets with Chandler, she turns into this weird sort of Skeletor-looking freak. She looks weird. But yeah, apparently in real life, Courtney Cox believes she's the shit and should be this big movie star and is all bitter about the fact she's just in some sitcom. Here's something interesting. Courtney Cox is in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective with Jim Carrey. And she has a sex scene. It's a comedic sex scene, but there is a sex scene with Courtney Cox and Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura. And then later on in years, Jennifer Aniston is in Bruce Almighty. And you don't ever see her have sex with Jim Carrey, but they're in a relationship. So there's a film with Jim Carrey having sex with Monica from Friends, and there's another film with him having sex with Rachel from Friends. There needs to be a film with Jim Carrey and Lisa Kudrow the one who plays Phoebe. Jim Carrey needs to bang them all. You can't bang Monica from Friends and bang Rachel from Friends and then just like skip over Phoebe. You got to do the full house. So I think they should make a film. It doesn't matter what it's about as long as Jim Carrey's in it and Lisa Kudrow's in it and there's a sex scene. Or it needs to just be implied, just so at least one person can have like fictionally banged every character from Friends. I want to be in a film where I bang Janice.